Hello, everyone. Hello, 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 hello. How is everyone doing? I hope you're all well. I had a little bit of technical difficulty setting up the show today. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late, about 10 minutes. My apologies. I'm doing my best to keep it at 8 o'clock. But yeah, this is great. I was a little bit earlier yesterday, so it balances out. I wanted to go live like immediately after another show, so it flows from one to another. But I was having, to do stuff at home, so I couldn't work it out like that. Point is, I'm here. We're going to be talking about South America today. I think it's a very important topic because South America is making a big shift, rather large shift towards the West, basically. Not the West, 'cause it's already in the West, but towards America, I would say. Let me add the map here. So here we have the 19 nation anti-cartel security bloc. We can go from Puerto Rico to all those places in Mexico, Guatemala. Well, we go to Mexico from California. Yeah, the link is in your I already sent the link. But yeah, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Panama, Colombia, like anti-cartel pressure drug seizures. Guatemala's doing training and border security. Uh El Salvador is doing security cooperation, but El Salvador has kind of been on. No, no, no. This is like, okay, remember, red is communist. Like in America, blue is GOP. But in the rest of the world and in America, red is GOP and blue is DNC, right? Like it's backwards. Like in America, the liberals are blue and well, the communists are blue, the socialists are blue, the DSA is blue, and the GOP, which is the conservatives, are red. But in South America, it's the other way around. They have always seen los rojo as the communists, right? So when you see red, you see Cuba red, you see Brazil red. These are the people that are against America. Where you see blue is where we have a military cooperation, right? Like you see in Guatemala. Guatemala is doing training and security with the US. Mexico is doing training and secure. No, Mexico was doing drug seizures. Like they had like a really big drug seizures, like tons of drugs that just got seized. And let me see over here. El Salvador has security cooperation. Where is El Salvador? Here it is. And let me see. Honduras has security alignments. That's over here. Panama, that's where the canal is. We have a Panama Defense Pact, and we took those Chinese companies that were either side, took those out. Why? No, that those old links are unique. Like each link is for a different stream. I just send you the new link. The old link is never gonna work again. That stream died. They're like unique per link per stream. Okay. Uh where was I? Panama. Panama, we like there was a Chinese companies like very much in the Panama Canal. We took those out. Well, we didn't take them out. They took them out because they knew they'd be in trouble with us if they let China control the Panama Canal. It would be like big trouble. Colombia facing an overflight anti-cartel push. El Tigre, the new president of that means the Tiger, the new president of Colombia, like it, the new president of Colombia, like just right now asked for cooperation and friendship, or like, so that they could do joint exercise, give the U.S. Army permission to come in and take out the cartels and I guess the FARC. Ecuador is doing joint anti-narco ops. Peru, security ties are deepening. Paraguay, military access. They're giving the military access, which is important. Argentina, the USS Nimitz and F-16s passing by Argentina, maybe to, like, let me check my school, but I'm pretty sure I just sent the new link like right now. Yeah, yeah, I sent it, and I sent this picture that's on the screen. You got to check in school. Okay, now this is the military and police cooperation. Now let's look at energy. On the energy sector, Argentina, the Vaca Muerta LNG, that's liquid natural gas, and critical minerals and trade pact. Minerals and trade pact. And Paraguay have a civil nuclear MOU, so we're probably getting into that. I'm gonna be adding you to the stage. Here we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. All right.
All right, we're good. Oh, by the way, the Nimitz information,
Yeah.
3 months old. Nimitz is already in
Yeah, but they
Norfolk. We
were
moved
there.
it
Like
out.
that's
They
a
were,
sign
yeah,
of
they were there. They
cooperation.
were there about 3 months. Yeah, yeah.
So I'm just showing them like an overview of how things have tightened up in 2026.
Got it. Got it.
The Suriname is
Suriname,
doing
yeah.
offshore drilling. Venezuela, the oil sector is reopening. Guatemala has reciprocal trade. They're doing like a reciprocal means no tariffs for them to us or us to them. I think that's what they mean when they say reciprocal. El Salvador also has reciprocal trade, which is very important, right? I think if you want to sell your products, to an audience that has a lot of an audience, no, I would say like it's more like a what do you call a public that has a lot of cash on hand. So
Yeah.
I was just doing a little overview of what was going on. But I'm gonna go ahead and grab some headlines because I think there was some important ones. Let me see what we got here. Let's go to X. Yeah, notifications. Oh, thank you for giving it a like. Check the notifications. Laura cancels Democrat rally after Laura Loomer complained. Good going, Laura. Juan Pablo Segura. Where is this at? Western Hemisphere Affairs. They're doing like literally like a Monroe Doctrine, like the Monroe Doctrine. They're doing a whole thing, top to bottom, and they're
Yep.
having like a Western Hemisphere. Look at this guy, Assistant Secretary of the State, Western Hemisphere, the State for Western Hemisphere Affairs. Post directly. Okay,
I don't see anything showing if it's showing anything.
nah, I'm looking. I'm looking to see if I find
Okay.
some posts about South America.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can give you a list of things that they've done.
I had one, but I can't find it right now.
Okay. Well, while you're looking, I'm going to fill them in. The main thing, for those of you who are coming to this channel because of the Iran situation and Israel, Israel has made deals with almost every one of the countries so far outside of Brazil, Nicaragua, Mexico, um, mutual association, that kind of stuff, assistance. Israel has shown up in both Venezuela and now Colombia to help with recovery. So they're getting,
Got that right here.
yeah, okay, good. That's the main thing. And then the more recent countries that have had their elections have asked the Trump administration if they can be added to the Americas, countries of the Americas. I forget the name of the actual program that the other countries were added to, and that includes Colombia and Peru.
I think also Panama, because it looks over here like U.S. Marine 3rd Battalion, 2nd Marine Regiment, Littoral Combat Force 24, participating in close quarter combat training.
Yeah, yeah,
Operations team in Colón, Panama.
yeah. I
Nice.
think they just arrived, I think.
Yeah. This seems to have been 5 hours ago.
Okay, yeah.
But this is August 4th, so
Oh,
might have been here a while.
okay, then it's not the one that's coming out of San Diego, yes, 2 days ago then. There's another Marine battalion heading, but we don't know where. Destination unknown, if you know what I mean.
Yep. There's a Globe Master heading to Colombia. This is 16, so this is yesterday.
Yeah,
These planes are huge.
yeah,
Planes in there? Yeah, it's a little loud.
yeah,
But this is for relief efforts. This is all
yeah,
probably
definitely.
for relief efforts.
Yeah,
Maybe one pallet of like, bullets and gear, just in case you run into some narcos, because they're probably doing a little bit of that too.
yeah.
Like, if you can
It looks
if
to
you can
me
kill two birds with one stone, right?
right. Yeah, but I would think it's mostly going to be aid for survival.
They might take a different plane for the other stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of news about Panama. Like Panama is probably this is more helping Colombia. Oh, what do we
Yeah.
have here? Let's see. See that?
Yeah.
That's a lot of kilos.
Yeah. They caught someone. Well, the boats that have been nothing the drug dealers have sent through the Caribbean is getting through. So that must be on the Pacific side,
It
and
says
very few of those.
Panama. This
Yeah,
is like the
Panama.
joint interagency task force. I think this is the one.
Yeah,
Allied
because you got to
Spartan
remember the
defenders
Panama Canal
mainland from
goes
narco
from
terrorists.
the. You got to remember Panama Canal goes from the Caribbean into the Pacific. That's why I said that narco bust might be a Pacific one, because nothing is getting out of South America heading north in the Caribbean.
Do you think it was north of the like even on the Pacific side? I wonder if this was north or south. Let me
Probably
see.
heading.
International launch.
Well, if
Air-
it's one of
air-
those half submarine boats, it probably was heading north
Playa
from
Chiquita,
Panama.
Costa Arriba, Colón. Let me see if I can find this.
Okay.
Uh, Google Maps. Colón, Panama. Playa Chiquita. This is Playa Chiquita. Where's the canal?
Between those two yellow dots.
Yeah, no, it looks like this was on the Atlantic side. You know what it could be?
That it got run
That
aground there.
they're not having success very much straight through,
Yeah,
and they're trying to get
hug the
'cause this is
coast.
Playa Chiquita, and they're trying
Yeah,
to like get by the coast or like get through land and get off here. But it
yeah,
seems to be a vessel.
yeah. So it's definitely from Colombia.
That would make sense. Like they want to get all their stuff out of Colombia as soon as possible.
Yeah, because that was an awfully big haul.
But it says detection, the Colombian Navy, but they got caught in Panama.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's probably the Colombians caught them leaving, and the Colombians say, "Hey, Panama,
yeah.
one of our guys heading your way, one of our bad guys headed your way. Make sure you grab him." Okay, so this appears to be Southern Special Operations in Central America. Yeah, I'm follow this. This seems to be one to follow. U.S. Special Operations Command, South America and the Caribbean. Coast Guard security respond alongside Panama. Panama is like it's the canal, man. Because it has the canal there, you have to
Well,
have them tip top.
and remember, the Chinese were making overtures of taking over the canal.
They were trying to buy everyone there, right? There was a lot
Yeah,
of chatter about
yeah, yeah,
politicians and
It-
bribery,
yeah, yeah.
but they're also working with Peru. This is like August 9
Could very well be.
because Peru just went to Fujimori.
Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense. So guys, there's gonna be a lot of we're basically trying to get the cartel out of because you gotta understand one of the problems with immigration is the narcos and the socialists work together to turn these places into shitholes. They
yeah,
are kings of the shitholes. They live in mansions in the shitholes. But because they live in their mansions in the shitholes, they don't smell the shit. They don't see the hole. They live
yeah.
on top of the hill, right?
Nice,
But the
colorful word, but yes.
best way to curb immigration would be to make those places not a shithole.
Well, the biggest way to stop it is to stop the narcos from using the local population,
Yep,
because eventually the local population has to run somewhere, and they start heading north.
exactly.
And you'll make it a lot safer so those in the United States that already made it to the United States or in Mexico can go home.
One of the ones
'Cause-
that did it most was remember La Mara Salvatrucha?
yeah, yeah,
The
yeah,
Americans call it MS-13.
yeah.
That was El Salvador. You know what I've been hearing my friends say in the States and my family say in the States?
What?
The El Salvadorans that they know, they're all going back.
Yeah, it's safer
Like
down
they
there. Yeah, it is safer there now. Oh my God. You need to show, if you can find the video, you need to show the video of the rounded up gang members running around in the jail with extreme respect for the guards.
Yeah, they got like a good work program too. Like the ones that, like they haven't been doing so bad. They're just, oh, okay, you want a good life? You're gonna have a good life in jail. We're gonna give you a nice TV in jail. You're not leaving jail.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Oh, and
stay in jail, but you're
if
gonna
you
do
see
labor.
if you see me looking away, it's because I've got my iPad next to me over here, showing the so I can see the pictures you're showing them.
Do you use an iPhone?
Yeah, I use an iPhone. Yeah,
You know what? I don't like them for PC, but for like devices, I like Apple.
yeah, I
Well,
do.
yeah, like you know what they're also telling me that I heard from at least two of them that they had property that they still own over there, and their property value has gone up incredibly.
I imagine so. I mean, there now becomes land that people want to go live in.
They want to go live in it, and people from outside want to go move there.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
look, if I gotta leave the states and I got a little bit of an economy, and I don't want to go back to somewhere I don't like, and I got a little bit of money, I got a little bit of
Well, when you
business,
think
maybe I'll
about
go
it,
buy a home. Like
okay,
people with like money.
there's only one problem with El Salvador right now. They have one business, the jail. Literally, that's their business, their national business.
They probably have other stuff, but not as like a little bit of tourism. The beaches are probably easier to go
Little
to
bit, little bit, little bit. I know one thing: the old ladies and the kids are not safe for now walking the streets by themselves.
because the two people that I know of, their property value went up. It skyrocketed, but it's because they were near the beach.
Yeah,
And it seems like the tourism industry, because it's safe to go to the beach and they're keeping it pretty clean, the tourism industry is just like picking up real nice.
yeah. It's a
Oh,
matter.
I
It's
think there's
just
also crypto tourism.
could be.
Like crypto, people that got a lot of money in crypto, they're like, oh, let me buy a house here. I got money to
Yeah,
buy a house in lots of places. Let me buy a house here while it's still cheap.
yeah. Well, as long as this government stays in play and this guy, I forget his last name, stays as president, their money is going to be safe. The issue is how safe is it going to stay and for how long it's going to stay safe? Because we both know that South America is volatile. That's why we have to get Brazil to change, and so but there's like four other countries that are iffing. One of them is actually a French, isn't technically, yeah, okay, they're South America. A French Guyana is actually considered part of Europe, French speaking part of Europe. I found that out yesterday. Hold on.
Okay, I want to look at the drug boats because we have the comments. I'm looking at the comments guide. I got a couple stars. So from
I think someone's knocking
Alas
at my
Dair
door.
Newman is asking, are we still hitting drug boats
Oh yeah.
coming from the Caribbean? Like over here, what we're talking about right now, when we were looking at this news, let me go back a little more. Like this is like one of those, you know why he's wearing this? That's not metal. That's fiberglass, right? These are like fiberglass boats. And this is what happened. The Colombian Navy detected this and they caught it. The tracking was done by USA and the interception was done by Panama. So they're still sending the boats, but we're still catching them. And that's why like one of the things that Jose didn't say that they weren't going out. He said they're not getting through. Right? That's what you said, Jose. You said they're not getting through. They're trying. They keep trying, but they're not getting through. Right?
I think there's been no confirmed. Yeah, I had a couple of Normans at my front door. Yeah, they've been trying. They've been caught. They've been easier to catch out in the Pacific than they are coming through the Caribbean. Uh, I think they're using the Hawkeyes, Navy Hawkeyes, to keep track of the surface because these boats are pretty low on the water. But that's what I think, based on what I've been told by some friends of mine that are in the Coast Guard. But I don't necessarily believe everything they say.
Okay. Like I got some breaking news. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth has immediately ordered audits of 30 academic institutions with financial and research ties to foreign entities. That's Harvard, that's Yale, right?
Yeah,
At least UCLA,
UCLA, Berkeley.
Berkeley, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a lot. I've been waiting for the arrests. Oh my god. Okay,
no,
so we have a question here. This is obvious, not a question, a comment. This has obviously been a lot from some dude and his ferret. This is that you pirate software? I'm joking. I'm joking. This has obviously been a long ongoing historical problem that has snowballed in places like Mexico. It would be nice to storm into Mexico and clean house, but it's not that simple, right?
no,
Well,
no.
here's the thing. They just did a big drug bust about 7 tons.
Yeah,
And what's the name of that lady that's in charge of Mexico? Do you remember?
no.
Well,
Like I
she
said,
just had a
she's not
whole
on.
bunch of people, like, basically jump her, like, "Oh, you're in with the narcos." Like, she's having trouble.
Yeah, well, she won't be president for long. They never
Yup.
are. They 2 years and they're golden. More than that, yeah, whatever. I'm not worried about Mexico is its own problem, and it's going to have to be handled differently because, from what I understand, the cartels that are running from these other countries are trying to avoid El Salvador, and they might be traveling in little boats to get to or planes to get to Mexico, which might cause a drug war in Mexico if you think about it, with the current cartels
Nueva
not
Generación is the
wanting,
one I know.
yeah, might not want the other ones to show up. So yeah, or maybe they'll ask for safe package so they can
Okay,
try to get in the United States.
this is from Homeland Security. US Mexico team up to seize 7 tons of cocaine.
Uh-oh.
Pacific. This is what you were talking about in the Pacific, right? Maybe you saw a little
I
blurb
was
about
thinking, no,
this?
I didn't see this article, but I was assuming it was the Pacific because the Caribbean Atlantic side, the only boats going out are going out from the country that's just north of Brazil. I think that's Guyana, and they're heading long distance. They're actually remote control submarines heading long distance, heading towards Spain. They're avoiding heading north.
Okay. That's kinda cool. I mean, kinda
Not,
cool kinda cool from a technological perspective, not from a "I want drugs to go anywhere" perspective.
they tried to send crews of two in those submarines, but they found out that they're awfully cramped, sweaty, and if they get into rough weather, which guess what season it's in? Hurricane season.
That's a terrible season to do it.
Yeah, but the submarines, remote control submarines, they just flew the submarine to load. Big deal.
How high are American Gulf, sea level?
Well,
I know. It's a
it's
joke.
just one of those things. Yeah, because the funny part is the last two submarines were caught off the coast by, I think they were Portuguese Navy or Coast Guard that caught them, and the
But,
guys were,
at the European side, right?
yeah, they got all the way there. There's rumor that one went ashore in Africa, or at least parts of it were found running ashore in Africa. But that's rumors. I haven't seen anything confirm it.
Is cocaine cheaper now?
I don't think
How
it's
is
cocaine that
7
they're shipping.
tons only 120,000,000?
Maybe it is cheaper because of the volume.
Well, yeah. Yeah, usually they price it out to the street price, so it looks like more. That's probably what I'm used to.
Yeah,
But, okay, so that's a lot of drugs.
yeah,
Imagine you be one of those 3 guys, not that I could imagine it too much, but having to sit on that little boat with 7 tons of cocaine. Jesus Christ.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
look at this. 207 pounds of meth.
Okay, that's not a lot. It's a lot of money, but it's not a lot of product, if you know what I mean.
Man, ever since Breaking Bad, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Let me see what else these guys are working on.
You know what that looks like to me in the picture? Cornmeal.
Yeah, it kinda does. And their leadership is weak to demands. Yeah, to cartel demands. Like, wasn't it Shine Bomb?
I think that's the president of Mexico.
Yeah, yeah, that's what her name is. So when you're talking about weak to cartel, let me see if I can find her.
Juliet Larry is asking, is the border shut down? He or she doesn't think so. And what border are you talking about?
I wouldn't say lockdown, but it's under better lock and like it's more locked down
Well,
than under Biden.
that's why I'm asking. What border is he talking about, or she? Because I can't tell. Yeah, no comment as to which border.
Look, it condemning. Oh, solidarity for Gaza. Okay, okay. I know who you side with.
Yeah, they are blackmailed. They do feel that U.S. border, pretty much. I mean, you can still come in legally, but the illegal part of it is pretty much very difficult to do, and they're being caught. So, yeah, they're being
I
caught.
think I
Very
see.
few.
This is the one I saw. Wait a minute.
Claudia Sheinbaum al término de un acto político en Tamaulipas. De acuerdo con un video difundido en X, una mujer reclamaba la falta de solución a un conflicto relacionado con el despojo de su propiedad y exigía atención de las autoridades. Los manifestantes se colocaron frente al vehículo de la mandataria,
Yeah.
pidiendo momentáneamente su salida del lugar. El hecho ocurrió después de la inauguración de una obra en un contexto de reclamo ciudadano.
Que resuelvas el robo de propiedad de mi terreno, daño de mi terreno.
Dirigidos a la presidenta.
Like she's basically the one that the cartel picked. This lady is mad because apparently the narcos stole from her. Like they stole her land, I guess.
Yeah. That happens all over South America. That's one of the things why they're hoping. Okay, let me restart here. You guys need to understand something. Trump is the first president and Rubio the first Secretary of State that's given two rats' asses about anything south of the American border with Mexico. Venezuela, taking out Maduro, okay, triggered a lot of people in South America to all of a sudden pay attention to the United States. When they shut down 3 days later the oil going to Cuba, they said, oh shit. Okay. Now you got to remember there was Russians, there was Iranians, there were
Cubans,
Chinese and Cubans
Chinese.
all over.
The
all
Chinese.
over.
It was funny because the Russians knew and they left, but they didn't tell the Chinese, and the Chinese stayed there. Like even were there during the Maduro capture, and the next day they're like, "Well, I guess the meeting's canceled."
Yeah.
Motherfucker
Well, they
ain't
lost
here
their
no more.
payday. Yeah, they lost their payday.
They're not
But
having that meeting.
they didn't lose it in all the countries, but they started losing in all the countries when they were given not welcome by the slowly turning governments. And people don't think when we're talking about right-wing swing that we're saying that they're Republicans. They're not Republicans. They're just not communists. They're right of communists. Okay? They would have to come way right, like Malay, to be considered Republican.
Okay, so some dude is saying Chamba will be the equivalent of Nancy Pelosi here or Ocasio-Cortez. They're so much worse, like so much worse. You know what her campaign was? Hugs, not bullets for the cartel. Hugs, abrazos, no balazos.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
This
And,
lady is
and he's
so much
right.
worse.
And he's correct. Trump has reached out to her offering assistance with the cartels. She's terrified of getting assistance. That's my opinion. Because all of a sudden her life is forfeit.
Well, here's the thing.
Or her family.
Like he also said Trump has reached out to Chainwell or several times. Here's the thing. I want to ask something, Grok. You want to talk? Let's talk to Grok.
Okay, let's talk to Grok.
Hey Grok, how many of the Mexican candidates for election were murdered in the last 2 elections? I want to include presidential and local. District or whatever the equivalent is.
Around 30 to 37 candidates were murdered in the 2024 elections, and about 30 to 36 in 2021. These numbers focus on actual candidates and aspiring candidates for local offices like mayor or council seats. None were running for president. The counts vary by source. Independent groups like Integralia, Data Civica, and NYT tracked 36 to 37 killed in 2024. while the government cited a much lower figure. For 2021, reports from Colegio de Mexico and others put it at 32, with some tallies around 36. The violence hit local races hardest, driven by cartels trying to control towns and local governments. Over the last 2 big election cycles, we're talking roughly 60 to 70 total. It's grim, and the numbers don't include party workers, relatives, or post-election killings. Want me to dig into a specific state or year?
I wanted you to dig into a specific person, Scheinbaum, the president. What positions did she have before? How do you become a nominee for president of Mexico? Is it like a parliamentarian system? How does it work?
Good question.
Sheinbaum's background. She's a physicist and energy engineer with a PhD from UNAM. She started in academia, then in 2000, AMLO appointed her Mexico City's environment secretary. That's where she helped launch the Metrobus system. She was mayor of the Tlalpan borough from 2015 to 2017, then became the first female head of government of Mexico City from 2018 to 2023.
Competition for mayor of Tlalpan. Did any of them die?
Her main competition for mayor of Tlalpan in 2015 were Maria de Lourdes Garcia Resendez from PRD-PT, Jose Antonio Patiño Pastrana from PAN, and Cuauhtemoc Sanchez Ocio from PRI-PVEM. Sheinbaum ran for Morena and won with about 29% of the vote. None of them were murdered. There are no reports of any of those candidates being killed during or after that campaign. The violence against candidates in 2015 was happening mostly in states like Guerrero and Michoacan, not in Mexico City delegations like Tlalpan.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they pick from Mexico City. They pick from like closer to the. But did you see that she's basically has nothing to do? Like being a fucking engineer has nothing to do
Yeah,
with
well,
managing a
hey,
business.
hey, I understand, but let's remember Ronald Reagan was an actor, and
Actor knows
uh,
knows people.
right, knows how to talk to people, knows how to
Yeah.
smooth people, and then we got Trump, who was a businessman.
Well, Trump was a bit of an actor. He was he was like in TV.
Yeah,
He
a
was
little bit. He's a ham
he-
and a comedian.
a comedian, and he was in he was a wrestler. He was in the WWE. I mean, I'm not
Yeah,
saying he like jumped from the third rope, but he might have thrown an elbow.
he might have. Whatever. It's all acting. That's fine.
Yeah, that's like that's like soap
Lucha
opera.
Libre. That's
That's like
Lucha
redneck
Libre.
soap opera.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, we have the lucha libre. We have our soap opera. In
yeah,
fact, it used to be so popular in Puerto Rico. I don't know if they still
yeah.
do it. I haven't been keeping up.
It's coming out of
We had
Mexico, and I cut the cord a long time ago.
They had El Santo and Blue Demon back in my day, but that was a long time ago.
Time ago.
You
I
remember
mean,
those two?
those guys are older than we are, man.
Yeah, of course. I was a kid. They were adult,
Yeah.
but I remember watching them as a
So
kid.
they're probably. I hate to say it, they're probably dead.
Oh, long gone. There's probably like part 2, like El Santo 2, Blue
Yeah,
Demon, or 3. I mean, it's been a while. They might be up to the 3.
yeah.
Anyway,
Right.
the point is that these are more public facing roles than okay, so let's like be clear about this. Appointed environment secretary. That sounds so lefty.
It kind of does, and it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, we don't know what. Ask it. What was the party she ran with? A socialist party.
Help launch metro bus system. Yeah, AMLO is very leftist, right?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the
Let me ask.
politics of every country down there. You know?
AMLO is a leftist party, is it in Mexico? What is this AMLO party that appointed Scheinbaum?
AMLO isn't a party, he's a person. Andrés Manuel López Obrador, the former president, founded Morena, Movimiento Regeneración Nacional, back in 2014. That's the party that appointed Sheinbaum as environment secretary when he was mayor of Mexico City in 2000. And it's the same party she belongs to. Yes,
Okay.
Morena is generally considered a left-wing party, anti-neoliberal, focused on social programs, fighting corruption, and keeping control of energy resources in the state. It's the dominant force in Mexican politics right now. Sheinbaum was one of AMLO's early allies. He brought her into government, she worked with him for years, and when he couldn't run again, she became Morena's presidential candidate through internal polls in 20.
So she didn't like, it was internal the way she got nominated. Okay.
Yeah.
So when she gets nominated, this isn't through a primary process. Nobody voted for her. It's just that the party decided that she was the candidate.
Yeah. It sounds like it.
No, it's not just the party deciding behind closed doors. Moreno used a series of nationwide opinion polls, basically a big survey of regular Mexicans, to pick their presidential candidate. Sheinbaum won those polls pretty clearly, beating Marcelo Ebrard and the others by double digits. It's not a traditional primary where party members vote at polling stations, but it's still a form of public input through polling. The party set it up that way to avoid internal fights and let the people decide. She didn't get a direct vote from
Yeah, well,
millions
let
in a
the people
primary.
decide sounds like bullshit. Tell me the easiest way to cheat that poll.
Yeah.
The easiest way to cheat that kind of poll is to control who gets interviewed. These were door-to-door household surveys. Interviewers knock on specific doors in selected neighborhoods. If your team knows the routes in advance or influences who the interviewers are, you can steer them toward friendly households or skip unfriendly ones. That skews the sample without touching the ballots. Other simple tricks include pressuring respondents in person. Since it's face-to-face, people might feel intimidated to pick the right name, or messing with the physical ballots in urns during collection and counting. Marcelo Ebrard actually accused the process of exactly that kind of ballot tampering and blocked access during the count. It's not foolproof because there were multiple independent pollsters and party reps watching, but yeah, let the people decide through a party-run survey still leaves plenty of room for the party to tilt the field.
There you go. I kind of knew it. I'm like, this cartel
Yeah.
lady. There's gotta be some shady.
There's some suspicion, but I think it got worse after
The
her
tie?
first year. Yeah. I think their hold on her got worse.
Their hold on her?
Yeah.
Okay. She had a campaign called Hugs Not Bullets, Abrazos No Balazos. It's under wide suspicion by most of the population and the planet that she is under the strict control of the cartel. What evidence can you show toward that? And evidence isn't proof. I'm not talking about something foolproof. I just want like evidence. Like, hey, there's a lot of points on the graph that draw a line to this lady's in the hand of the cartel.
There's no solid evidence that cartels strictly control.
I just said I
Sheinbaum
don't want
personally.
solid evidence. Can
The
you
Abra-
please answer what I asked? Stop adding your little fucking caveat and answer what I fucking asked, you piece of shit.
The points people draw to suggest cartel influence on Sheinbaum are these. She inherited and initially defended AMLO's Abrazos no Balazos approach, which critics say let cartels
Oh
expand
my
during
god,
his
I'm
term.
lost. Started that
She's
shit.
since shifted hard. Homicide rates have dropped about 50% under her watch, with massive arrests, drug seizures, and extraditions to the U.S. Her party, Morena, has members facing serious U.S. indictments for cartel ties, most notably Sinaloa Governor Ruben Rocha Moya. U.S. prosecutors say the Sinaloa cartel helped him win election through intimidation and ballot stuffing in exchange for protection.
That's what we just talked
Sheinbaum
about.
has defended him, saying the U.S. hasn't shown Mexico enough evidence and refused extradition. Investigative journalist Anabel Hernandez has claimed long-running ties between the Sinaloa cartel and Morena AMLO's campaigns going back to 2006, and that those links carried into Sheinbaum's time. She's also alleged CJNG leader El Mencho helped fund
Jalisco Nueva
Sheinbaum's
Generación.
campaign. Hernandez's claims are bold, but have been challenged in court before for lacking solid proof. El Chapo's lawyer, Jeffrey Lichtman, has publicly called her the public relations arm of the Zambada faction of the Sinaloa cartel, accusing her of protecting them. That's the graph people point to: party members with alleged cartel help, defending accused allies, and inheriting a soft-on-crime reputation. But there's no public evidence of direct payments, orders, or control over Sheinbaum
I don't
herself.
care about the direct stuff. Let me ask you something. this 50% increase, decrease in crime, more drug seizures, all of this. How much of this happened after Trump started putting rough pressure on Mexico and tariffs?
Most of the big drop happened before the heavy Trump tariff pressure hit. Sheinbaum took office October 2024. Homicides were already trending down from the start, from about 87 daily in September 2024 to around 65 by late 2025. The steepest part of the decline, down to the 40s daily, came in 2026. Trump's serious tariff threats and pressure ramped up right after he took office in January 2025, with tariffs actually imposed in February 2025, then delayed and renegotiated multiple times through the year. Mexico responded with big extraditions and arrests in early 2025 to ease that pressure. So the initial improvement
Okay.
started under her before Trump was even in office. But the acceleration and the really low numbers in 2026 came while Trump was leaning on them hard with tariffs and cartel crackdown demands. The timing lines up with the pressure, even if it didn't start because of it.
Because when you come in, you have to, like, for appearance's sake, take out a few people.
Yeah,
But I think the pressure is what's keeping that going. You understand what
yeah,
I'm saying? Does that make sense
yeah.
to you?
It does. It does. It does. And a few people online agree.
All right. Now,
Oh, and by
there's
the way, I am no relation to Juarez.
oh man.
I got a sense of humor.
No. I mean, we don't really mess with the cartel, but
Yeah,
we're just reading the news. Like,
yeah, yeah.
the news is the news. Like, you got to talk to Elon about the stuff that over here Grok is saying.
Yeah.
No, I want to look into energy now.
Energy? Okay.
I mean, let me ask you something, because I wanted to know, did you have any topic you want to hit that you want us to go over? Maybe,
I
help
want to talk about,
have
I want
Grok
to
flesh
talk
it out.
about, yeah, like, for instance, I want to talk about Fujimori and how she was attacked as being a fascist by the New York Times, like her father was attacked as being a fascist, and that, yeah, and the tactics used by the previous government in attempting to keep her from winning the election.
Now, as I remember, he won by, not a super big margin, like a good margin, right?
No,
Like it
no.
was a nice margin, but they challenged the election, right?
And they
And she
refused
said, "Wait
to,
a minute, every time I challenge the election, you said, what are you doing? We won. Stop challenging. You're compromising the integrity of our election." Kind of like
yeah,
Uno reverse,
yeah, yeah.
right? Am I remembering this right?
Yep. And then when she won by a little bit of a margin, he tried the same thing on her, and she used that same word on him.
Exactly. No, that's what I'm
So
saying.
she
She laid down
might
that.
look, to the rest of you guys, she might look like she's Japanese. Yeah, that's where she descends from. But I got news for you. She's got Latin blood for miles.
Well, there's been a lot of like intermingling
Yeah,
of Japanese
especially in
and
Peru.
Latino culture,
Yeah,
especially on the Pacific side.
yeah.
Like one of the biggest, this is kind of weird, but I know this because I'm a weeb. I'm kind of into anime. One of the second biggest places that have really big fans of Dragon Ball and people that love Dragon Ball and they buy all that shit? It's Mexico.
Could be.
And all over
You know
South
where there's
America,
a,
mind you,
you
but
know where there's
Mexico just
a,
because of the size of the population.
you know where there's a decent sized population of both Chinese and Japanese, and we're
Maybe
talking
Brazil?
long. No, Cuba.
Oh,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. They brought some to Puerto Rico too.
yeah,
But let's
yeah.
ask the question. Hey, I want to ask you about Keiko Fujimori. I want to ask about the New York Times allegations against her, where they come from, what's that all about? Why are they attacking her? Okay, I
The New
muted it.
York Times hasn't dropped any major
I-
new bombshell investigations specifically against her recently. Their coverage of Keiko has mostly been about her long-running corruption case. Prosecutors accused her of money laundering and running a criminal organization inside her party to hide illegal campaign donations, especially from Odebrecht for her 2011 and 2016
Wait a
runs.
minute, wait a minute. I'm talking about, this was a 2026 article. This is very recent. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But in that country run by a bunch of leftists, if they had anything on there, they would have arrested her. She'd be
They
rotting in jail
did.
if they had anything solid. Sounds like a
They
whole bunch of
did.
fucking accusations and you're
Hey,
changing the subject. I
hey,
said 2026 and New York Times.
let me tell you something. They did. They arrested his father as soon as he was removed from the presidency,
Making
and
fresh
they threw her in jail too.
Fujimori. Their main piece this year was just reporting her narrow
me a
election
second.
win in June as another right-wing victory in Latin America, framing her
Huh.
as the daughter of the former strongman Alberto Fujimori. The stuff people usually point to are the old corruption accusations from the Odebrecht scandal. Claims that her party took illegal campaign donations
Let me
in
ask you a
2011.
question. Do you have any like major publications calling her a fascist after her win?
Yeah, some left-leaning outlets and commentators have thrown the fascist label around after her June 2026 win. The World Socialist website called her victory part of fascism and authoritarian degeneration. A few Brazilian and Latin American left
Did you see that?
publications
I
have
just
used
asked
terms like
this bitch. She just
neo-fascist
said,
when
like the New
talking
York
about
Times
Fujimori's
wrote
most
her
It's
to
okay.
AP.
Let her
mainstream
speak. Let her speak.
New York Times, Reuters, AP, or Le Monde
New York Times.
call her a fascist. They describe her as conservative, right-wing, or the daughter of a former strongman dictator. And they highlight fears of authoritarianism because of her dad's history.
Yeah.
Wikipedia and academics often tag Fujimorism as far-right or authoritarian populist, but not full-on fascist. It's mostly coming from her hardcore ideological opponents on the left who see any tough-on-crime, anti-left Fujimori as echoing the worst of her father's rule. The fascist tag is more political attack than precise description in most cases.
Okay,
Yep.
so this is, they like hinted at it.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, to talk to me about what you were saying about they did it to her father or like they, but not her directly.
Their father, after he did his 2 terms in office and was out of office, they literally picked him up off the street with his family and her too, the daughter, and threw them all in jail. Charges came about 2 years later, from what I understand. I'm not 100% sure on everything. I'm thinking it was 2 years later. And he was in charge of corruption, being a strong man, using bloody, all the usual bullshit when you want to discredit someone completely. And she was jailed along with him.
Okay, I got a
Where,
comment here from Todd Fulton saying, I live in Brownsville, Texas. The Gulf Cartel, El Cartel del Golfo, has always had a presence. You can tell a lot of businesses are fake fronts for laundering money. It's like two realities overlapping. Yeah,
yep.
there is a lot of that.
Oh yeah,
So,
definitely.
and the accusation was basically this money laundering thing. Wait a minute. Illegal campaign donations. Oh my God, that's like a
Typical
yeah, lawfare.
political, typical political. Let's discredit the person. Happens on all sides. Do I think she's innocent of everything? No. Do I think she's a mean ass politician? Yeah. Do I think she wants American help? Damn right. Damn right.
What were the
Do her.
technical grounds under which the case was thrown out? Because I remember technically
The case was thrown out
Trump's
on
case was
3 main
bullshit.
technical grounds by Peru's Constitutional Court in October 2025. First, retroactive application of criminal law. The specific way prosecutors tried to charge her with money laundering, called receptación patrimonial, wasn't in the penal code until November 2016, after her 2011 and 2016 campaigns. You can't criminalize something after the fact and then apply it backward. Second, the criminal organization charge didn't fit. The court said running a political party to win elections is a legitimate political goal, not the kind of illicit economic purpose
Bro,
required
this sounds
for an
like
organization criminal
bullshit
charge.
charges.
Third,
Like I
violation
said,
of a reasonable
said,
The investigation dragged on for over a decade, with repeated fixes to the prosecutor's accusations, which the court said violated her right to have the case resolved in a timely manner. Those were the core legal and procedural reasons the court annulled everything from the start
Case
of
is
the
just fucking
investigation
bullshit.
and led to
Yeah,
the
like
case
he
being
probably
definitively
doesn't want
archived
my
in
water. This isn't
2026.
Jesus Christ.
It
But
wasn't
I
a
don't
finding
think
of innocence on the
thinks
facts.
he's like a
It was that the
you know
charges as
a
framed were
criminal,
legally invalid.
like a cartel hardcore criminal.
yeah,
Jesus Christ.
yeah. And she was one of the first newly minted leaders of a South American country to call on Rubio and President Bush and asked to join the League of the Americas, or whatever it's called, that Trump started with about 8 other leaders, including Malay, back in January or February.
Let me ask it. What's the name of the Joint Task Force of the Americas that Rubio and Hegseth are trying to run now? I can't remember the name. I know a lot of people joined, especially now Colombia.
It's called the Joint Task Force Western Hemisphere, or JTF-WHEM. It was officially stood up on August 4th by U.S. Southern Command as the main military arm to work with the America's Counter-Cartel Coalition. That's the group of now 19 countries, including Colombia, that Rubio...
All right, I get it.
Okay.
Let me search for it.
That's a different group altogether. I'm talking about the economic group for the Americas. Millet was one of the first signers on it.
Is there an economic version of this with me? Oh, it isn't. It isn't listening yet.
Yeah.
Give it a sec. Is there an economic version of this with Millet being one of the first signers?
It's called Joint Task Force Western Hemisphere, or JTF-WHEM.
This
US
seems
Southern
military. I said economic version.
Non-military.
No, there isn't a dedicated economic joint task force like the military one. The military side is the Joint Task Force Western Hemisphere, JTF-WHEM, stood up in August 2026 under Southcom for counter-cartel ops.
Isn't there a trade pact, a trade, union, or is America doing everything with the South now bilaterally?
No, there's no dedicated economic task force or full trade union like the military's Joint Task Force Western Hemisphere. The Shield of the Americas is mainly a security coalition against cartels, with Rubio and Hegseth heavily involved.
That's it.
The economic side is handled through separate bilateral agreements on reciprocal trade, ARTs. The U.S. has signed these with countries like Argentina, Ecuador, El Salvador, and Guatemala, offering tariff cuts in exchange for market access, economic security commitments, and keeping China out. It's mostly bilateral deals rather than one big multilateral pact. The administration's approach favors one-on-one negotiations over broad unions like Mercosur or a new NAFTA-style bloc.
I think what
That's
happens
what I was talking about.
with a lot of this is my suspicion. Every nation that joins gets a bilateral deal, but they all
Correct.
get announced at the same time. So it sounds like they're all together.
Yeah.
But it's
The
like,
thing is, if you think about it, they're all part of that military. Is this their reward that they're getting?
oh,
for joining?
absolutely.
You know what I mean? So they technically are united together. You know?
It's like they're like, we can negotiate one-on-one on the economy, but you
Yeah.
got to join me against the cartel in this intelligence and military thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's easier for us to train together, know how we all talk together, kind of use the same equipment, or at least radio signals, have similar ammunition, similar equipment. So if we can get stuff going there, I'm going to make your economy big. And when you buy weapons, you're not going to buy that bullshit Russian shit that breaks
Yeah.
for Venezuela, and that Chinese shit that breaks for Venezuela. You're going to buy our shit, so nobody's going to fuck with you, right? Especially the cartel. So we're going to make your economy strong. when you need your police and your military to protect you from the cartel, you're going to have our intelligence, our equipment, our training.
Yeah.
And you're going to be able to buy all that, because if you sign on, we're going to give you good bilateral treatment. We're going to work one-on-one on the economy and tariffs and all that shit. That sounds like pretty much what's going on to you?
Yeah. Yeah. Think about it. The first thing that they've all asked is, hey, we need help with the cartels.
Because
And
they
they
know
move-
that's the first step to get into the economy. Like, hey, like, we do the cartel. Like, they're like, look, wait a minute. Everybody who says come help with the cartel gets a great economic plan. Let me put my hand up and say
Yeah.
I need help with the cartel.
Yeah, and think about it. Every single one of those countries down there needs help with the cartels.
I mean, if you do the economic thing first, they're just going to rob you.
Yeah. Well, that's what they're doing. That's what cartels are doing. They're robbing the economy. You know?
So, like,
And they're
if you get
trying
the military in first, well, you know, you get the guy that would rob you later. It's like, wait a minute, let me get my gun first, then I'll get my money.
Yeah. Yeah. So it makes sense. Now that we know there's two programs, now it makes sense. Before, I wasn't too sure why anybody would want to join, other than that the America is a humongous economy, and instead of them trying to piecemeal all their different economies with different countries around the world, they can just do the American. And think about it. What does America get out of it? All of South America is a trading partner. That's a win for both North and South America.
I would
Who's
say
left
that
out?
even, like, that's a good win, because the more you can onshore and friendshore, especially on the energy sector, like
Yeah.
nuclear cooperation in Ecuador,
Yeah.
Vaca Muerta LNG in Argentina. Let me put this.
Yeah.
Let me share
Put
this.
put that back up. But think about it. Really think about this shit. Who's being left out right now?
China,
Canada.
Brazil, Canada. Yeah, Canada is. We're about to build a wall in the north too. You know, that's where the fent went. The fent is going up through the north now. And look,
Okay, I
if we
can't
look
hear
at the
you.
map, Paraguay has a civil nuclear MOU.
Cannot hear
Ecuador,
you.
nuclear cooperation. Guyana just found out they got a lot of oil. Suriname, I don't even know where that is. Where the hell is Suriname? I thought that was in Asia. Am I crazy? Look, I'm sure it's in South America. I just didn't know. Venezuela, oil sector reopens. Guatemala, reciprocal trade, very important. Guatemala is right here. Where you go? Oh my God. I think we lost Jose. He'll be back. Guatemala is right here in the south. Oh, I told the people you'll be right back.
Yeah.
I was just telling the guys that's like there's a couple of nuclear here, like Ecuador and Paraguay, and is nuclear deal.
Yeah.
Guyana is new oil boom.
Yeah.
Venezuela, they're probably going to revamp their oil sector. Guatemala, right here, right on the border of Mexico. If you can lock that in,
Yep.
like if you stop, Guatemala's over here, right?
I can't. I'm watching on my iPhone. I'm watching on my iPhone, so I cannot see anything you're pointing at. I know the map of the area. I know the map of the area, so you don't have to worry about that. You can point it out for the crowd.
Okay, well, I don't. Wait.
It's all right, man.
Yeah, Guatemala is right on the south of Mexico.
Yes. They got a volcano there that has done damage to that town.
Guatemala and Belize.
Yeah.
Is Belize part of Guatemala or a separate country?
No, separate country. It's a tourist destination. Nice place.
If you can stop the immigration at Guatemala, I don't know how it doesn't stop at Panama. There's a fucking canal. How are they getting over the canal?
Maybe they're paying a fare like anybody else has to go through, has to pay a fare. I don't know. I don't know. You
You know
got a
what it
point
is?
there.
There's probably bridges and trains that people hop on.
Yeah, could be. Could be. And,
Because
you
I've
know,
seen like
and as long as they can pay the fare, they're over. They're done.
have you ever heard of El Tren de la Muerte?
Yeah.
They're like some immigrant train that everyone rides on, and you got to pay the cartel on top of the train, or they just throw you off into the
Yeah.
jungle.
Well, yeah. I've heard. Not funny. Not fun.
Not funny, not
It's just, yeah, you gotta remember that these people have been through hell when they start their journey north, and they're trying to get away from that hell. So they're put up with anything to get there. Absolutely anything. You
It's
actually,
one of those things where you don't know if the hell. Let me see how I can put it. You don't know if the hell
the hell you leave is actually better
better than
than
the
the
hell
hell
you
you're
go
going
through.
to. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I know this. If this was back about 5 years ago under the Biden administration, you would see the stream of people.
Yeah.
Now,
No, I
the-
remember.
now the stream is stopped. And if you
Dream
think
was pretty bad.
you got to remember, in Mexico, southern Mexico is controlled by the Mexican cartels.
Yes.
So they control that border.
Yes.
And you know they're making money off of every crosser.
Guaranteed.
And they're passing it off to another cartel that makes money off of them, and then another cartel that makes money off of them, and then it gets into the government, which is going to make money off of them too.
Check this out. You remember this?
Yeah,
That's the Biden era.
yeah,
I had someone argue with me that, oh my God, there's more measles now, and there's more measles, and these cases of measles is because Trump's, vaccines and RFK. And I told that guy, hey, that's not now because the vaccine just happened now. You wouldn't like immediately get measles because Trump signed a paper yesterday
yeah,
or 3 days ago. Number one. Number two, everywhere where there's cases of old diseases coming back, it's because you had a border surge.
yeah,
And I went into the AI, I pulled the data, and I showed him. You see here? You see here? This isn't because of Trump's vaccine, whatever. This
yeah,
is the immigration that have very different minimum, like even the minimum free health care that you can get in America if you're ultra poor is leagues above what you get in a lot of these South American countries, right?
yeah.
Like you even
Most,
told me, sometimes what they have is these basically doctor slaves they exchange from Cuba because they're local doctors.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Those doctors they exchange, when they're given good equipment, are just
Do a
as
good
good
job.
as most doctors anywhere else in the world. Most
Yeah.
second world doctors. So just because Cuba's third world doesn't mean that their doctors are third world. That's why they get purchased as the doctors are trafficked out of Cuba, folks. If you didn't know that, you know now. They're trafficked out. They're paid $20 a month. Like Jamaica pays the Cuban government a couple thousand a month for each. They only give them $20 a month, same as they would get in Cuba. So they don't know what they're worth because they don't know what the government's paying for it. And then after their rotation's done, they get to go home. If they defect, their family loses, and if it's say it's a husband, the wife might go to prison, which means no one's there to provide for your kids. So it's a trap. Truthfully, it's modern day slavery.
You see that how some of these people got kids?
Yeah. And
No,
you
I'm
don't
just gonna
know,
play this.
and you don't even know if those are their kids or not.
Oh, no one knows.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play this because they don't want to. The Democrats don't want to let you do DNA tests
Yeah.
because civil rights or whatever. But
Yeah.
let me ask
Well,
you a question. Just logic this out for me. If you don't want to pay for the doctor, right? You just want to exchange the people's oils for other people's doctors. I mean, the chances are you're not gonna like also spring for a whole bunch of nice equipment.
Yeah.
So the doctors may be very good, and maybe in some places they'll say, "Look, we'll just get the equipment and save on the doctors by trading oil with Cuba." Like
Yeah.
that might work out good, but some places are not even going to spring for the vaccines or what.
There
Because I don't
are,
hate all vaccines. I only hate like
yeah.
some of the new ones.
But let's think of where they were. Let's think where we know they were. Jamaica, Gran Canaria, not Gran Canaria. There's another island near the Canaries that I can't think. No, near the Jamaica that I can't think of.
Were they in Cuba?
Venezuela. Yeah, the Cubans.
Venezuela.
Yeah, Venezuela for sure. Possibly Colombia. Definitely Mexico.
Definitely Mexico. So that's
Yeah.
just one example. What about the places that don't even have anything to trade? Would they have a lot of cases of measles and diseases?
They have. Hey, they have. There's one thing they can always trade. Allow them to place people to teach them communism.
Yep.
You got to understand, it's always about spreading the revolution. And Cuba has been fighting the revolution since Castro took over. Even to this day, the stuff coming out of Cuba is "Viva la Revolución." Not that they believe it anymore, but they'll say it because it's easier to say that than say something else and get your ass thrown in jail or your rations taken away.
Well, what I was noticing is specifically disease, cases of measles, cases of outbreaks, and how they relate to immigration.
Yeah.
And in that
Well-
sense, in that specific sense, I would put it like when you hear there's like, I'm just telling like the people, when you hear there's an outbreak of this and the outbreak of that, and they're trying to blame Trump and RFK, that's bullshit.
Do
And when you're
this.
talking about
Ask Croc a question. Cases of tuberculosis since 2025 in North or South America. The reason I'm asking is I saw something the other day, and there's been some cases in the United States. So I'm very, very curious. Where else?
yeah, I want to know where there have been cases of tuberculosis 2025, 2026.
TB cases are everywhere, but some spots had notable outbreaks or spikes between 2025 and 2026. Globally,
No,
the
in America,
WHO
just USA. It's got to be USA. That's where I'm asking.
In 2025, the US had about 10,260 TB cases nationwide, a slight drop from 2024, but still higher than pre-pandemic levels. Most cases, around 77%, were in people born outside the US, though outbreaks often hit US-born folks in vulnerable groups like those experiencing homelessness, substance use, or incarceration. California led with over 2,150 cases, followed by Texas and New York. States seeing big jumps included New Hampshire, cases doubled, North Dakota, up 64%, and Colorado, up 32%. Kansas saw a sharp drop after wrapping up a major outbreak from 2024 that had 68 active cases and 2 deaths. Notable spots with outbreaks or clusters: Kansas City area, big one declared over in late 2025. A high school in San Francisco.
Looks like you hit that nail on the head, didn't you? 77%.
It's one of the topics I've been wanting to bring up in Armin's channel, but we've been so busy on other things that let it slide. And then when you said let's talk about this tonight, I said I'll bring it up on Monkey's channel.
I want to ask about this.
Tuberculosis is something that when I arrived from
Cowboy
Cuba,
disease, right?
huh?
That's a cowboy disease. Like it used to be common in the days of like Tombstone and shit.
Yeah, well, that's because of not necessarily, because when I came from Cuba, I had to get 5 shots. Okay, entering the company, because I'm coming from a third world country. The needle that scared me the most was the tuberculosis needle. That was a big ass needle. Remember, I was only 4.5 years old. So those needles scared the crap out of me. But I remember tuberculosis being said. And I remember that the reason why my father answered that a member of his family in Cuba did suffer from tuberculosis. Turns out it was a cousin of his mother, long dispute ago. My father didn't understand the question. It was recent, not historical. So every one of us got hit with a needle and a
Oh,
bunch of other
it
needles.
wasn't supposed to be like heart disease, because heart disease, or it's history of
Yeah,
mental illness, history of heart disease, that you go historical.
right,
But
right.
with this kind of virus shit, you go more recent.
Yeah,
I don't even know if tuberculosis is a virus or a
it's
what
one of
it
the
is,
more. It's one.
or an
It's
infection.
before the vaccine came up. It was one of the most deadliest. Yeah, it was one of the most deadliest diseases
But
ever hit North
in
America.
America, though, it hasn't been common since the cowboy times. Like it was like up until like the I don't know, I
Pretty
would
much.
say the
Well, you
1900s.
gotta remember the Cowboys' time in some parts of the country are still going on today.
Yeah, but they have like a modern like doctor nearby. Like say you go
Yeah,
into town.
they do, but it's not something you get from cattle. I forget
Exactly.
exactly how you get it. It could be bug related. I don't know,
Let me ask. Let me just ask.
or it could be contagion by breath.
How long ago was it common to have tuberculosis in America? As I understand it, most of these cases, even these cases that you're bringing up in this Kansas City, in New Hampshire, New York, California, all the cities that you're naming, I'm guessing all these cases are recent and due to immigration. So if we eliminate immigration and we go back over the last, I don't know, 100 years, maybe 200 years to the cowboy era, this is not common in America until the big problem with immigration, right? This was pretty much eradicated a while ago.
No, that's not quite right. Tuberculosis was extremely common in America long before modern immigration waves. In 1900, it killed about 194 out of every 100,000 Americans, second only to pneumonia flu as a cause of death. That's roughly 1 in every 500 people dying from it every year. It was rampant during the cowboy era, the gold rush, and through the early 1900s. People called it consumption, and it was a leading killer in both cities and frontier areas.
Okay, so
It
from
started
the
to
60s till the 90s.
From the 1960s through the early 1980s, TB was steadily declining, but still way more common than today. In 1960, the US had about 55,500 cases, a rate of roughly 31 per 100,000 people. By the mid 1970s, it was down to around 15 to 16 per 100,000. And by 1985, it hit a low of about 9.3 per 100,000, with just over 22,000 cases. It wasn't eradicated, far from it, but it was under control and dropping
Okay. You're over focusing on eradicated. It was significantly lower than today, like extremely significantly lower than today.
No, it wasn't significantly lower than today in the 60s through the 90s. In the 1960s, the US had around 30 cases per 100,000 people. That's 10 times higher than today's rate of about 3 per 100,000. By the mid 80s, it had dropped to around 9 to 10 per 100,000, still 3 times today's level. It kept falling through the 90s and 2000s, hitting lows around 2.2 to 2.5 per 100,000 before the pandemic dip and recent rebound. So today's numbers are actually some of the lowest we've ever had, not higher. You're right that immigration
Okay,
plays a big role
isolate
now.
California and check that rate per 100,000.
California's TB rate in 2025 was 5.4 cases per 100,000 people. That's almost double the national rate of 3.0. You're right that it was lower in the 60s and 70s, but not extremely so compared to
Okay,
today.
isolate New
Back then-
York and give me that rate.
New York State's TB rate in 2025 was 4.8 cases per 100,000 people. That's with 967 total cases.
Give me the state
New
with
York
the
City-
lowest immigration. Tell me, what is the state with the lowest immigration?
West Virginia has the lowest immigration rate in the U.S., with only about 1.8% of its population foreign-born. That's the lowest percentage among all states. For comparison, its TB rate in 2025 was just 0.5 cases per 100,000 people, one of the lowest in the country, way below California's 5.5, or the national average of 3.0.
That means you need
Montana's
200,000
close
people to
behind
get one
at around
case.
2.2% foreign-born, with a
Yeah.
TB rate of 0.4. So yeah, in states with very little immigration, TB is
Now
extremely
compare
rare.
the state with the highest rate of immigration, the most unfriendly to ICE policies, the most what would you call that? Oh my God, sanctuary state policy. Compare that state to the West Virginia, and tell me the rate per 100,000.
California.
California's got the highest foreign-born population share, about 28%, and it's a major sanctuary state. In 2025, its TB rate was 5.5 cases per 100,000 people. Compare that to West Virginia, with only about 1.8% foreign-born and basically no sanctuary policies. Its rate was just 0.5 per 100,000. That's an 11-fold difference. The pattern holds pretty clearly. States with very low immigration have extremely low TB rates, while high immigration sanctuary states like California run much higher. Most of California's cases are still in people born outside the US.
Run the same comparison for measles.
For measles, the pattern flips
You
compared
got
to
any
TB.
other disease you want to check?
California, with its high foreign-born population and sanctuary policies, has had relatively few cases, around 50 to 77 total across 2025 to 2026, which works out to a very low rate, roughly 0.1 to 0.2 per 100,000. West Virginia, with the lowest immigration, has had almost none, just a couple of isolated cases in 2026, basically near zero rate. The big measles outbreaks in 2025 to 2026 hit states like South Carolina, Utah, Texas, and Pennsylvania hardest, mostly in communities with low vaccination rates among US-born kids, not high immigration areas. So unlike TB,
Now
measles right
forget
now is
about the
driven more
area. Tell me if it literally, these measles cases are coming from immigrants.
They're
Like,
not.
are they citizens or are they immigrants?
They're not going to be able to tell you that because measles is
lie.
transmitted by touch.
No, the vast majority of these measles cases are in US citizens or long-term residents, not recent immigrants. Only about 6% of cases in 2025 to 2026 were imported, meaning the person caught it abroad and brought it in. And of those imported cases, most were American travelers returning home, not visitors or new arrivals. The big outbreaks hit specific communities with low vaccination rates: Mennonite groups in West Texas, Ukrainian and Russian-speaking communities in South Carolina, and similar tight-knit pockets in Utah and elsewhere. These are mostly established US residents. Many are citizens who either never got the vaccine or skipped it for their kids. 93%.
Wait a minute. Mennonites?
Yeah,
That
they
makes
don't
sense.
believe in vaccination. That makes
Why
sense.
the Russians and the Ukrainians?
Uh,
They
Some
don't trust the
people, hey,
government?
honestly, they're coming from a Soviet system. Do you really think they trust vaccinations?
No, not
Okay,
even
end
a
of
little.
story. End of story. Okay, so it makes
I don't
perfect
want to
sense.
laugh at them. I don't want to laugh at
But
them, but it's a
but
little funny.
the
Like,
common thing that she was saying that I picked up, that it was people that refused to give their kids the vaccination. Just
do
like
you
in
know who's
COVID,
doing that?
let me finish. That's telling me that the parents made the decision to let the kids go out and play without getting the vaccination, and cousin could infect cousin, brother, neighbor across the street can infect the other because it's by touch.
No, I get
Neither
that.
your
I get
thoughts.
that. But who do you think ruined vaccines for Americans?
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah, a
pretty obvious. We
certain.
lived through it. It was a while ago, but not that long ago.
Yeah,
What has it been, like 5 years?
yeah. Okay,
It's the
tell me who
Fauci
you.
ouchie.
Fauci. Yeah, yeah, him,
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not
Mr. Wuhan,
anti-vax.
Mr.
I'm
Wuhan.
not. Yeah, I'm not anti-vax. But when you fast track, you put that much bullshit about out there about it, you're gonna make everyone scared.
Yeah.
Give your son 3 boosters. Come on, man. That doesn't even make sense. People start getting out going like, now you're going crazy.
Hey,
Now
you
you're
know
just
what?
talking
You know
crazy
what?
stuff.
I got the 4 because I got them for free, so I got them. That's it. Done. Just like I get. Well, I don't get the pneumonia anymore. I have a real weird reaction to pneumonia shots.
Yeah,
I
but I
get
think they're
pneumonia.
supposed to be for like more the elderly than they are. Well, I'm not trying to call you old, right? I
I'm
just did
62.
anyway.
I'm 62. I qualify. I get
You're
asked
not
every
a
time
spring
I
chicken
go.
anymore.
No,
Spring
no,
rooster.
no. Although the kids seem to think I'm a spring chicken. My 4 and the
When they want to
5-year-old in
horse
my
around
family.
and play,
Yeah,
make you
yeah.
chase them around and shit.
Oh yeah, or they'll jump on me. And the one that's autistic will headbutt me in the gut.
Oh no.
And he's
What
he might be autistic, but he's a freaking stud. Very
hey,
well muscular for a 5-year-old. Yeah.
butt me in the stomach enough times, I'm gonna fart and you're not gonna like it.
No, well, he's bending me over, and since I've lost the 58 pounds that I've lost, oh yeah, he drops me a couple times. Yeah,
Yep.
which scares the crap out of his mother because oh my God, you're so frail and old. I'm not that damn frail, bitch. And I call my niece that because she says, but still, it's. But I understand. The boys have gotten vaccinations. Okay. Um, her husband's actually Air Force rescue personnel. That
Okay.
the guys that would go after the guys that went down in Iran recently. That was his
Yeah, yeah.
unit before he left the Air Force. That was his actual unit. He knew the people in there that did the rescue, and
That's kind of cool.
he is a believer in every vaccine possible. These kids have gotten everything on the way, including tuberculosis vaccine.
You
That's
know
not
what I
that's on.
heard? I heard that the problem is combining them. I'm gonna ask.
Okay, here's the thing.
There's been a recent talk, Grok, about combining vaccines. That the problem is not all of the vaccines, especially not the old earlier ones, but the problem is combining them, giving them sequentially or the same day. And there's talk about them needing to be separated more. What do you have on that?
I think you might need to give her a type of
There's
vaccine.
been a lot of talk about this lately because of the executive order signed earlier this month calling for splitting the MMR vaccine into 3 separate shots given at different visits. The idea is that combining them might be overloading kids or causing more issues. The evidence doesn't back that up. Decades of studies on the combined MMR show it's safe and effective, with no proven benefit to spacing them out. In fact, separating them leaves kids vulnerable to the diseases longer, requires more doctor visits,
I
and
don't I
often
don't
leaves
trust those studies. They're very biased. They're usually made by the same
Yeah,
corporations that benefit from them. I don't want to go
yeah.
off that. I want to
The thing,
go
the
if
one.
any study, I want to go off a study that is not backed by any of these pharmaceutical agencies because
Ask.
they basically have their own vaccine courts. They have their own separate system. I want you to treat this as completely biased, and I want you to look only at right-wing sources.
Okay, ask her about COVID-19.
from sources like Children's Health Defense, which are highly critical of the pharmaceutical industry and vaccine schedule. The main argument is that giving multiple vaccines or combined shots at once puts too much stress on a young child's immune system. They point to studies showing higher rates of infections, respiratory issues, and developmental delays when babies get several shots in one visit compared to fewer. They argue the MMR combo hasn't been properly tested against giving the 3 components separately, and that spacing things out could reduce overload and side effects. They also highlight that single vaccines used to be available, but were phased out, and recent executive orders under Trump have pushed for bringing back separate MMR shots to give parents more choice and flexibility in timing. That said, even these sources acknowledge it could take years to develop and approve new single antigen versions, since they're not currently produced in the US. The core concern from that side is that the current combined approach
That I didn't
hasn't
ask
been
you about separating them. You're adding shit to my answer to trying to skew my opinion. What the fuck are you doing? Did I ask you about? I'm not a fucking kid. I don't got any fucking kids. Can you stop trying to be like a biased piece of shit and trying to steer my mind on this? Why don't you go
Yeah.
fuck yourself, Grok? All right, I'm done.
Okay, you done with the rock?
Sorry, I misread what you were asking. You wanted info strictly from right-wing
Shut
or
up. Shut up.
anti-vaccine
Shut up. Shut up. I said I'm done. Shut up, Grok. Shut up.
Okay.
Got it. I'll stay
I,
quiet.
I was enjoying her spew.
I'm like, why are you giving me all this extra information?
Yeah. Well, I
I just
think that
asked you, can you separate them? Why separate them?
the point that I got out of all that she said was that there is no definitive proof that separating them is going to be bad for the kids. None. Which is totally different from the answer she gave us before, where separated could be bad for the kids. Okay? She's just finished saying there was no definitive proof. And it could take years before we had that proof, and even more years to get the three separated. I was more interested in the stuff that I've been hearing, not about the MMR, okay, but about COVID-19. Because there was 3 different versions of it, and my doctor at the time told me once you get one, whichever one they assign you to the first time, which was the Pfizer one, ask for the Pfizer from then on. And I got all 4 that I was required to get in order to stay employed. Okay, which that I didn't like. All Pfizer. I never caught a sting, and neither did anyone in my family. We were fine. And we had some elderly in my family, and they all followed the same thing. And it was funny, I got 2 doctors in the family, and they also told me stick to one brand. And
Now,
one brand
my
only.
grandma
Don't
got
mix
it.
brand.
My grandma's like very, 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 very old. Like, I got very old. So the reason she got it is because it's supposed to be like that's who's gonna have a lower immune system. Like it's not supposed to be for young folks. Like if you're an athlete, you don't need that shit. You especially don't need boosters and shit, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that was my problem with it. Like they're pushing it to kids, to pregnant people. Like, oh, there's like
Yeah,
been some talk.
that was a problem I had too. I don't believe you should add anything to a woman when they're pregnant because it'll give us directly to the baby. You know, and you don't know what side effects that medicine will have to a fetus, unborn fetus. So I'm totally against that. However, the way I looked at it, no one I knew, didn't know you at the time, no one I knew had any family members that passed away from the vaccine. I do know of people that did pass away because they refused the vaccine and they were in the wrong environment in a nursing home.
Well, yeah, I don't want to laugh about it like in a bad sense, but the fact that they would stick people that were sick with COVID in a nursing home, what was the guy's name in New York that did
Yeah,
that? The mayor.
yeah.
No, not
Bloomberg?
Giuliani. What
Is
was the
that
other one?
Bloomberg? I
Bloomberg,
think it
that
was
guy.
Bloomberg. Yeah, he put them
That guy
all
should be
in a
in jail.
nursing home, and yeah, and he put young kids with COVID in nursing homes with the elderly.
That's just stupid.
Yeah. So yeah, but Fauci did a couple of things I didn't like. Basically, he became a god of the vaccines, and okay, I
Remember
know
when
that.
they took Joe Rogan's face and they made it great because they used ivermectin and they say ivermectin reduced mortality 47%,
Yeah,
reduced
yeah,
hospitalization 34%, reduced cases by 79%. reduced viral clearance by 44%, improved recovery by 39%. Like, I'm not sure that these are the exact numbers on ivermectin, but
Yeah.
I hear it from a lot of places.
Yeah. It's
Go
one of
ahead. You
those
were
things.
saying?
I don't trust any statistics I see based on the fact that the mortality rate in the United States was nowhere near the mortality rate in Europe, Africa, South America, or China, or the rest of Asia. Okay. The medicine we were given worked. The medicine they were getting, maybe not so much. Or maybe they didn't do the quadruple in the same type of medication. I don't know. I am not a medical doctor. I am not a medical researcher. All I know is what worked, what my doctor told me to do, what the relatives that are doctors told our family to do. And we came out all right for the most part. But
Now,
there
this
are
is what
things
Fauci
about,
said.
huh?
Look at what Fauci said. It's 100% effective. It's 99% effective. It's 90% effective. It's 70% effective. It's 50% effective. It's 33% effective. You need a booster. You need two boosters. Okay, the vaccine injured some people. Okay, the vaccine was completely ineffective, injured tons of people, and killed some people.
Do you know why I don't take the, okay, an aside here. Do you know why I don't take the flu shot? Because I found out from a doctor that the flu shot every year is a guess. Their guesstimate of what the dosage is going to be. But they don't
And
know
they have
exactly
no
what
idea.
they have no idea because they don't know idea how the next because they're giving the flu shot before the flu hits. So they don't know how strong it's going to be. Guess what? The 3 times I've taken, I've been in the hospital for 2 weeks afterwards. So when I get asked if I want to take the flu shot, I ask the pharmacist or the doctor if they're going to pay my hospital bill. And that shuts them up. That's a no. That's a no.
It was Cuomo.
So I don't necessarily trust everything. I rather, like for instance, one of the reasons I lost as much weight that I'm losing is because I want to get off all this diabetic too. Yeah, folks, they call you diabetic too if you're over your body weight. Supposedly, per a chart that if they're still using, built. It was designed in 1952 when all us guys smoked and all the women were at home cooking real meals instead of microwave or us going out to eat at some McDonald's or Burger King or something like that. Yeah, way back when.
Like, I hated that. Like, I hate nothing. Like, one of the things I hate the most about the COVID era was this fucking Operation Warp Speed, the vaccine mandates, the having to have an ID that showed you who got the vaccine. You know what I did? Didn't leave the house. I just didn't leave.
The thing was, my company. I was working for the same company I'm working for now.
Mhm.
They had just assigned us all laptops 3 weeks before, and we had asked before the first notice of it hitting. And literally, I was in the office working from the office the day that HR put an announcement in our big warehouse of an office space saying that it's officially been a quarantine. You are to disconnect your laptops. Make sure you have everything you can reconnect at home and go home now. I was there barely an hour and I had to disconnect. You know, what a waste of a day, I thought, honestly.
Mm.
But fine.
Do
And
you
then the
like it though?
company, did I like it that I had to work from home? I
Did
don't
you
know.
kind of like, you know what? This isn't that bad.
Yeah, that wasn't that bad then. You know what I mean? Because I
Yeah.
got to work from home, and it saved me about $20 of gas a week. So yeah, that was fine. But I mean, at the same time, I'm a type of person that likes working with people. Like me and you are talking right now. I don't have a problem. I'm working on my laptop, let it run a program, and I got someone to talk to. I didn't have someone to talk to while I'm at home by myself. And there was some times when Well, the thing I did like about working from home is my internet speed at home was twice as fast as my work speed, and they were supposedly paying for some ungodly bandwidth. But I guess with 1,000 people in the office, you didn't get anywhere near that actual bandwidth. But me at home on my even with my laptop here at home right now, when I go into the office, it is slow as molasses compared to working from home. You know?
Yeah, you just get it done. There's no
Yeah,
distractions.
yeah, and
Well,
pretty
for me,
much that's the
I'm disabled veteran, so I get like whatever the VA gives me, and all I had to do was not go to the doctor because I was like even afraid to go to the doctor. I just stayed in. I just
yeah,
got my food delivered, and I just stayed in.
yeah,
And school was done from home
yeah,
in that era back then,
yeah,
and I kind of like that was it.
yeah, yep. It
It was
wasn't
just like
that,
cabin fever.
yeah, it wasn't that bad. What was bad is I couldn't see my family. You had to be careful not to congregate, all that stuff.
They had
And
this thing over here where on some day, if you had an even license plate number, like you could go out. If you had an odd number, you couldn't. Like they would rotate
yeah,
the days that you could go out.
yeah, well, we had very much, you had to make your own decision whether you actually want to go to a grocery store. And if you were advised to go to a store that had self checkout,
Yeah,
which those stores don't like you self checking out because they consider you all thieves. So
I
I
mean,
decided I went the route of DoorDash and had
yeah,
a couple of orders a week delivered instead of an entire full order for 2 weeks.
I mean you're saving a little on gas.
Barely. When you think of the tips, because I like them deliver quickly, so I'll pay a little extra, you know. But at the same time, yeah,
See,
yeah.
when I order a pizza. Like I want something that's gonna last all day, maybe till the next day.
Well, yeah, I used to do that too, except for one thing. I'm losing weight now, buddy.
Oh, you
Can't do that.
oh,
Can't do that
I shouldn't have
now.
mentioned that. I'm sorry.
So it's okay. I can. What I've found is there's an Alfredo sauce and spinach pizza that you can buy from Amazon. It's one of these that you stick in an oven and cook it yourself, and it gives me 2 meals worth, and it fills me up with the diet that I'm on just fine, and I'm enjoying pizza.
I ordered my pizza with Alfredo. I don't like the I like because I'm getting on in age. Like the
Yeah,
fucking red sauce, my stomach doesn't want to deal with it. I'd
it's
rather deal
been
with hot sauce than red sauce. It's
yeah,
like the acidity. It's not the spice. It's not the
it's
que sea
just
picante. It's the
yeah,
acidity that gets.
yeah. I get it. I get it. It's one of those things. Oh man, I can't have my favorite food though.
La
I cannot have una tortilla española.
tortilla española es buena. That's some good food.
Yeah, I know.
It's sandwich
Except
cubano. It's got like what three kinds of meat,
the Cuban
apretadito. You
sandwich.
squish it. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. But I can have a Cuban sandwich because my calorie count's 1,800, and that's just a $900 calories. So I can have that and still eat the rest of the day.
Like if you it's mostly meat. I mean, it's
No,
nice.
it's meat
That's
and bread.
doable.
It's meat and bread.
Well, the bread part, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's and I'll order it a special way, simple, the very simple way, no lettuce, no tomatoes, because now it's a club sandwich. It's not a Cuban anymore. So yeah,
I would
Cuban is
have
chick.
like you could order it. Okay, so no lettuce, no tomato, no bread.
Well, yeah, well, no, no,
Just give me
no,
a
no,
bowl of
no, no.
meat.
The reason why I ordered is because I was jonesy for some Cuban bread.
Yeah, I know. I know. We have over here Todd Fulton is telling us America has an excellent healthcare system. The problem is that we subsidize in Canada, Europe due to their price control, and we have a higher rate of obesity and diabetes due to culture. Yes.
Culture.
I would agree with that. I
It's
would also
culture.
say that we're subsidizing the third world. Like we have our healthcare system is overloaded on the emergency side,
Yeah.
right? So if you overload the emergency side, where does that cost come from? It has
Yeah.
to. You have to start charging more on the other side.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't think. Okay,
Alert, we got our hands on the Fang Fang.
they got to learn. They got to learn quickly.
Sleeping with the
Yeah, hold on this guy a second. I like him, but let's hold on for a second. What I've learned is that if you don't balance out your portions and stick to a calorie count, you can overeat so quickly it's not even funny. That's been
Yeah,
the hardest thing for me because for so many years I didn't care how much weight I weighed, you know?
bro. I'm
Um,
like 30, 35 pounds over.
well, I'm actually at 200 pounds, I'm still 37 pounds over the weight that the 1952 chart says I should be for my height. But my doctor told me to try, if I can keep it around 200 pounds, 295 to 205 pounds, he'll be happy with the next visit.
You mean the 1952 chart because that's your favorite chart, or because it's like an age
That's
thing?
the chart I see in every doctor I go to in Tampa.
Because the new chart is bullshit, right? I
Because
heard about this.
no, the new
Like
chart,
the new chart starves you. Like they're not
no,
doing it right. It's like made. I don't know why they did it, but like the new chart is bullshit. Like it will hurt you.
the new chart, they're using the 52 chart, the two doctors that I've seen that 52 chart in, because they're too old to change to a new chart.
Well, what I okay, so my brother went to nursing school, and he said that when he saw both charts and he talked to the teacher about it, he said, like, for your family, don't use that new chart. That new chart is bullshit. It's gonna hurt them. Use the old chart.
Well, the old chart is has some fallacies to it. First of
Like when
all,
I'm talking about like heart rate, like when are you endangering heart
yeah,
rate? When are you
yeah, yeah, yeah,
endangered? Like that, like the full chart, not just
yeah,
weight, like everything,
yeah.
respiratory, all that shit. That the new
All
chart
that
is
stuff.
bullshit.
Yeah,
You'll get killed. You've heard about
right,
this?
exactly. Yeah, well, I've heard that, but I haven't seen the new chart. Like I said, I see the 52 chart. Numbers were different.
You gotta like take a picture of it, like make sure you get it like downloaded so you know the good chart. That's what I'm
I'm
gonna do.
okay. I'm okay. As long, my doctor needs to know what my blood pressure should be, and if he's looking at a chart, he sucks.
Yeah, he just knows.
Yeah,
He don't need no goddamn chart.
yeah. So it's been interesting all the way around, but let's keep on with the show. We're talking too much health here. Let's go with this alert. See what it says.
This is gonna be like the last segment we do,
Okay,
but
that's
I want
fine.
to see what's going on here because this is like a little bit more international. But I do want to like see because we have this kind of thing come from Cuba too. You're gonna
Yeah,
recognize some of the stuff,
yeah.
but I want to get into it.
Fox News
Okay.
hands on the Fang Fang files. For years, Swalwell's been accused of sleeping with the enemy, Chinese spy, and he denied every ounce of it.
Did you have any concerns about this person before you had what's known as a defensive briefing from the FBI to make you aware of this threat?
No, Jim, I was shocked when, just over 6 years ago, I was told about this individual. And then I offered to help. The story says that, there was never a suspicion of wrongdoing on my part.
Now he's eating his words. New
Yeah.
documents declassified by the White House show the FBI interviewed Swalwell back in 2015. That was Obama's FBI. And he admitted to a physical relationship with the Fangster multiple times. They first met in the fall of 2012. He called her a striking individual, went out for a drink a few weeks later before things turned physical. He said it was just casual. They never formally dated. But Eric said Fang wanted to do more than just hang. He told the FBI about a time that they hooked up before he was elected to Congress. Swalwell said she showed up late at night. Fang banged on his door. He let her in. She left a few hours later. He said he'd taken an Ambien beforehand, so he couldn't remember much.
Yeah.
Any candles? Oh, Eric couldn't say. The spy sex wasn't a secret. Swalwell's staff knew all about it. One aide told the FBI he heard Fang would show up to Swalwell's door and make it clear she wasn't wearing any underwear. But it wasn't sex. The FBI opened an investigation into possible illegal donations to his campaign. The name of the investigation? Freshman 15. Looking into whether illegal campaign donations were being traded for internships and access to Swalwell. Fang was in the country on a student visa. She couldn't legally donate to his campaign herself. So they investigated her for orchestrating a straw donor scheme. And their financial analysis flagged 4 successful cash movements within a year. The FBI also intercepted intelligence that Fang was offering favors.
Wait a minute. So she was paying him in pussy and cash.
Yeah. You got that finally, huh? I've been laughing the entire time because, yeah, I've known about this case.
I mean, I know he was getting the pussy, but the cash too.
Yeah.
I mean,
That was the new part. I wasn't sure of that. I heard rumors, but I wasn't sure.
so
But
I
she was,
knew
yeah.
about the sex, but the cash?
Have you ever seen this woman?
And then she was just there. She looked kind of hot, like, you know.
Yeah, she's yeah, I would have. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have sold secrets, but you know, I don't have
But
secrets.
but if she comes to me and tells me she's wearing no panties, hey, come on in, woman.
I mean, you know, it's cold.
Sorry
Baby,
if I
it's
sound
cold
sexist.
outside. Let me
Hold on a
let you
second.
in.
Let me second.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to any of the ladies in the chat that I've offended by that comment. I'm a 62-year-old man, and I have absolutely no problem insulting.
Okay. So I apologize for nothing. Yeah, like women know. Like these are the kind of women other women hate because they know there's ladies like that out there.
Yeah.
Like you'll have your man, and your man is a good man, but he's in a high position, and they'll try to get him drunk, take advantage of him. You know what I'm saying? Like these things happen. Women hate this kind of lady too. And maybe this lady, you know, I don't know. Maybe she has to, like, she's a student. Okay, you're a student. And once you're a student, they say, hey, do this thing, get with this guy for me, find this out for me, or your parents over here are gonna have some trouble. They're gonna have some due taxes. We might have to take them to a prison. So I'm not gonna say like that she's like maybe she's a true, you know, believer in communism and she's doing it for the cause, but she could also just be coerced. I'm not gonna say, you know,
Also,
like she's a horrible person, but women know this shit happens. They know.
okay, let's go. Let's keep going.
Reportedly guaranteed a private meeting with Swalwell for $5,000 and said she could land you an internship in his office for a steeper price. According to an FBI interview, she referred a student she called her sister, and that student was hired and worked on Swalwell's campaign for a year and a half, knocking on doors and researching people Swalwell was about to meet. She had access to every single donor record. Now, in the document, Swalwell says he had nothing to do with the hiring. All he did was forward Fang's referrals. But the FBI always had its eye on the spy. A memo identified both of her parents as Chinese intelligence officers.
Okay, so the parents are not kidnapped by the CCP.
Correct. She's a spy, 100%.
Bred and born.
An undercover officer tried to flip her, recruit her as a double agent. Fang's official FBI nickname, Rusty Thumbs.
Why would you call her Rusty Thumbs?
They got to call her something. Oh my God.
No.
That's just rude.
What would make your thumb look like it was in some rust?
Yeah, no comment.
What are you into, Swall? Eric?
Yeah.
Eric?
You know, let's give him a little bit of opportunity to recover.
No,
let's say that it was her own.
I'm not gonna judge him. If he likes the thumb in the ass, I'm not gonna like if someone he likes, like, what do you call it? A push start? Maybe he likes to push start. Maybe he has doubts about his prostate and likes thin fingers.
Okay, let's get back to reporting.
Rusty Thumbs. Okay, Rusty Thumbs.
She bragged that she used her sexuality to exploit politicians.
I like that they put it right there at the bottom. FBI to recruit Rusty Thumbs Fang.
She knew she was young and knew she was pretty and knew she could get away with it. But the FBI must have slipped up, because Fang Fang smelled a rat and cut off all communication. She got spooked and fled to China, never came back. James Comey never pursued her, and the DOJ closed the investigation.
She washed her thumbs of it.
Jack Smith
Yeah. Now
decided
let's keep hearing what he has to say here, because
that's the same
that
Jack
was
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Let me go
Smith
back.
never pursued her, and the DOJ closed the investigation. Jack Smith decided not to prosecute her. And yeah, that's the same Jack Smith who tried to put Trump in prison. Peter Schweizer, president of the government.
Oh
Rusty thumbs.
no, more
Rusty.
interesting. The guy
What?
that didn't prosecute him for having an affair with a spy, passing information, being paid money, just to meet. Yeah, okay. No, he was being paid for information. Let's be realistic here, okay? Paid for some information. And a prosecutor decided not to prosecute him, but that prosecutor tried to prosecute Trump.
For many things.
Yeah.
Well, Jack Smith would never had the legal standing to prosecute anybody. That's
Yeah.
why he's in trouble now, because he was inappropriately appointed.
Yeah. Well, let's put it
Like,
to this
he's
way.
got a lot of. I watched this guy called Robert Gouveia. He's like a lawyer that goes over this kind of thing. Very technical. He doesn't like. He's like laid it out very technical. I haven't watched him recently, but he is very good on this stuff. Now, what do you know about the Knights of Malta?
Knights of Malta.
Apparently, Mel Gibson's doing a miniseries on the siege of Malta, where 700 Christian knights defeated 40,000 Ottomans. And
Yeah.
this guy looks like this guy.
I can't see. It's too small, but it's okay.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I know what the Knights of, as you know, I'm a fan of the Crusades. So I know quite a bit about most of the knightly orders. Matter of fact, I am related to a couple of Knights Templar. So, yeah.
Aren't the Knights of Malta still around? Because I feel like I've
Yes,
heard
they
that
are.
like
They are.
recently.
They
Like,
are.
they're still around.
They are. There's a lot of the knightly orders are still around. The Templars are around in two organizations that have been followed up. Knights of St. John in Portugal.
Okay.
And they're called the Knights of the Temple in England.
Okay.
And they actually have two Knights Templar cathedrals. They're not cathedrals. They're like
Churches?
no. They're
Castles?
like small. No, not they have castles in Spain. They're small chapels, round chapels.
Chapels. Okay. Oh, the round ones. They got a famous one in the Vatican.
Yeah, they
Not
do.
in the Vatican, but in the Vatican City, the Rotunda.
But it's not. But it's they're all designed from that Vatican chapel.
From that era.
From that, well, that chapel's been there a long time, buddy.
Yep. Let's listen to
Long
this.
time.
It's just 43 seconds.
Yeah.
Working on a TV limited series about the siege of Malta, which is an incredible story. And
It
there's
is.
only one place to film that. I mean,
Malta.
because that's where it happened, at these fortresses, where 700 knights defended Malta against an onslaught from the Turkish. And Suleiman sent 40,000 men and ships, and wow, the knights won.
Yeah.
So pretty crazy. I'd like to be in it, but I don't know if I'll have the time, But but I certainly want to be.
I want him to
like
be
a
in it.
producer of it, and I've worked with.
I would love to be in it.
Script. It's going to be good. For
Hey,
somebody,
we would all love to be
that's
in
a great
it.
story. Working on.
I might look a little Puerto Rican to be in it, but
The thing is,
look at this. Look at this. Look at him there. Look at him there. Look at this guy in the painting. Come on.
I can't. Too small. Can't
Oh
see
my
it.
God.
But
You're
yes, he
gonna
can
have
be
to
a
see
knight.
it later. Oh,
He can
I
be
know
a-
what I'll do. I know what I'll do. I'll send you the link.
Okay, good
I'll
enough.
send you the link, and you can see it on school later.
Okay, good enough.
And
Here's the thing that you got to understand. If you've never, I see, because of World War II and the Mediterranean theater, Malta was a British stronghold, and Yeah, the Italians, the Germans attacked it. They tried to land troops. It's kind of, they don't have any beaches. You have to moor your ship next to a dock to unload anything. 700 men? You only need
Is it
50
kind
to,
of like 300
not really.
300, so like a
No,
Thermopylae situation where it's
no,
just like
no,
they're down
no,
there and you're not
no.
getting up there.
It's a bigger, it's an island, not a peninsula, or excuse me, not a mountain pass on the sea. It's not thin. The fact is, it's an island that was turned into a city after it had been a fortress island. There you go.
Oh,
See those little
nice.
like places that you can look like bring a boat in? That's it, buddy.
This is it over here?
Malta's the entire island.
But you were talking about these
They don't have
ports?
big. There's no. You're not going to find a beach. You're going to find um, real rough shores and the like.
Like it all goes down pretty deep. Like there's like this
Yeah,
little section of beach here, and that might have been added. You know how you make like a
yeah.
little bit of an artificial.
Most likely, because at the time, even during World War II, there was nothing that resembled a beach. But then again, the Germans didn't know how to land landing craft. They never made a landing craft, and the Italians were good for nothing by that point in the war. No, they really were. Ever since Ethiopia, their attack on Ethiopia backfired. They got slaughtered in Ethiopia, and then they
You see,
couldn't push the British out of Libya. It took Rommel to get down there to push them out. Yeah,
bro, the only place where people can kind of swim looks very artificial.
yeah,
This
it
looks like
is.
they just laid
Take a
down
look at
tons and
the
tons of.
roadway. Take a look at the roadway behind it. That's the original shoreline.
Yeah,
That's where the
probably.
wall is. See the wall? That's the original shoreline. Walls all the way around. They just probably added that in order to they got some decent hotels there. Probably there's a pool. Yeah. There's a nice hotel around there.
Bizabuga Beach Club. Is Malta part of what? Like who does Malta
I
belong
don't
to?
know.
Is it just its
I
own
don't know
thing?
if it's I don't see it's just south of Italy, or Sicily. I don't think it's an Italian.
Okay.
It could be a territory. It was a territory of Britain. I don't know who controls Malta now, but the Knights of Malta has been the protectors through the Crusades of Malta, and they did deploy to Jerusalem
There's
and
other
got
places here where you kind of could dock.
yeah. But take a look at how you get in there and get out.
Oof.
Yeah, does that look like a death trap to you, Mister Military guy?
I wouldn't want to go in there if I can get flaming shit thrown at me from both sides and I'm on a
Yeah,
boat that's made of wood.
yep, yep,
Yeah, if I'm on a boat made of wood, I don't want to.
yeah,
Let me see how
exactly.
close from each side. Nope. Like by probably that time, you could throw a catapult with some flaming shit at anything
They
passing
did.
by here.
They had it well before that. That was available technology well around the time of the Greeks empires. Matter of fact, they had catapults on board their cataracts, their ro- rowing ships, not the Viking kind, the Greek and Roman kind. Yeah, but they needed guides to get British submarines into those harbors, and they're not deep; they're shallow.
That's a problem too.
Yeah, there's a ship
Like
there.
a LNG ship, right?
Yeah, that's a ship there of some kind.
These liquid natural gas ones look like this
Yeah,
usually.
yeah, yeah,
Well,
but yeah, but it's that's an interesting one, you know. I wish them luck. May it make money compared to other historical shit lately. Oh, I'm getting
Man.
rude.
But the stuff that we have gone through, things get that hard.
It's very hard.
But
I don't know,
Was
but I
that
hate this bitch.
Candace?
I hate her so
Was
much.
that Candace?
Yeah,
I can't tell. I know that's Charlie.
that is Charlie, but I despise her so much.
Yeah.
This guy's good. Byron Donalds
I already voted for him.
seems like a nice guy.
He's one of these guys that DeSantis was going for a different guy, and he changed his mind and went for him this week.
Look at this. This guy.
I can't see anything but a bunch of mugshots. Whoa.
This is the guy. Okay, so Jeff Kofi Asare was arrested 3 times in just the past 2 weeks for allegedly raping women in Oklahoma. Nearly 24 arrests. Serial rapist. The judge who released the migrant who kept
That
raping
one.
women.
Yes, I've seen that one. I did see that earlier today. Yeah, she's off. She's Vietnamese, I think.
And has 20 priors was Judge Cinti Truong, who's from Vietnam. This is her.
Yep. Yep. Because I saw her and go, oh, she's cute. Ah, fuck, she's Vietnamese. And she's crooked.
I'm going to send her to Ho Chi Minh.
Yeah.
Real nice guy.
But currently she has protection. Yeah, she.
You cannot.
I almost said something very inappropriate.
I think we should call it here.
Yeah,
We went over a couple of things. We didn't get too much into the economy, but I think
it's
we had a
okay.
good time. And when
No,
we have
it's
a good
okay.
time, it makes for a good show. Did you have a good time?
Yeah, I
Did you
did.
enjoy
Maybe
your
next
time
time
with
we
us?
can. Maybe next time we can talk about specifically the 2 countries in the scope of Iran, Cuba, and Venezuela. The
Yeah.
next 2.
Yeah.
You know, just concentrate on those 2. You know, and maybe we can get Mondori to join us for that one because he's Venezuelan.
Cuba, Venezuela. Wasn't there another one?
No, those 2 are enough. You know, Colombia, I'm not worried
I
about
have a
just yet.
feeling there's a wasn't it? Oh, Nicaragua was the other, right? The
Yeah,
Sandinistas?
Nicaragua. I mean, if we want to bring El Salvador, we can with Sid.
No, I don't mean like people. I mean like people like that were with Iran. Was it? I think Nicaragua was also like part of that bloc that
Colombia,
was Cuba.
I think Colombia was, Venezuela was, Nicaragua,
I'm gonna just ask. Hey,
Cuba
Grok,
maybe.
is there any ties between Nicaragua and Sandinistas and Cuba, Nicaraguan Sandinistas and Venezuela, Nicaraguan Sandinistas and Iran?
Yeah,
You
there
might
are
have just
strong ties on all 3. Cuba, closest one. Cuba helped the Sandinistas during their revolution in '79, sent advisors, teachers, doctors, and oil. That relationship stayed tight when Ortega came back in 2007. They're ideological brothers. Venezuela, very close too. Ortega and Maduro, or Chavez before him, backed each other hard. Nicaragua offered to send Sandinista fighters to help Maduro if things got rough. They're part of the same anti-US bloc in Latin America.
Yep.
Iran, also real. Ortega has called the Sandinista and Iranian revolutions twin revolutions since both happened in 1979. Nicaragua backs Iran's nuclear program, hosts Iranian officials, and they've built political and economic ties over the years. It's part
Yeah.
of Ortega's strategy to team up with anyone against the US. All 3 connections are active and ideological. Anti-American governments sticking together.
So I knew there
Imagine
was
that.
one more. I knew there was one more.
Yeah. I didn't know
Yeah, we
Nicaragua
can
was
talk about
that
that for
much.
sure.
I didn't know Nicaragua was that much involved.
I knew it. I knew it. they canceled elections, bro. When I heard that, I'm like, nah, he wants to be an Ayatollah.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, as far as I know, there's still 4,500 Marines in Venezuela helping with the recovery of bodies now from that double earthquake. I don't know that. I know the Israelis left Venezuela, the Israeli rescue force. There's only about 50 of them left Venezuela and in Colombia, helping with Colombia right now. I don't think the Colombian death total is going to get as high as Venezuela. There's still over 50,000 missing in Venezuela.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't
Colombia had way
understand
better
why.
construction.
You know what? Here's the thing. I don't know. Okay. My niece went to Cuba on a field trip with her college. Okay, very liberal college. They all, by the way, all 16 students came back and voted Republican and haven't voted anything but Republican since. That's how much well they found Cuba. But there was one kid from Venezuela, and they were going over a bridge coming from Camagüey heading toward Havana, and they went over this beautiful brand new bridge, and the minder, and thanks to the wonderful people of Venezuela, this brand new bridge was built for us on the island to use. And the guy, when he got back to the hotel, according to my niece, he was fuming pissed because he knew to keep his mouth shut. He just knew it because they
He
were
can't
all
even like
warned.
stay in the hotel room.
Well, he did in the hotel room. He went to the teachers and he ripped them a new one. He goes, "We don't have bridges that nice, and they're going to bring it for here when they don't even put this infrastructure shit halfway decent as that in Venezuela." I mean, he was pissed.
I would be too.
Oh, and it was funny because they had a couple of players that played lacrosse at University of Tampa that were on that field trip, and my niece had to tell them, "Those girls that are flirting with you, they're minors." What? They're minors, but they don't look like
Yes.
minors. I go, they might have large tatas, but they're minors. And they're probably, and my niece said, one of the other girls
And they're
said,
probably hookers.
they are. But he goes, and they probably have AIDS. Stop, turn,
Oh yeah.
walk.
Oh yeah.
You
Oh
know?
yeah.
So it was funny. And there's another, oh my God, I can tell you, we can talk for hours and I can just talk about that trip. My niece came back, and like I said, Republican ever since.
Was she iffy before?
She was listening to Bernie. I had already turned her away from Bernie, but
That finished the job?
she was, oh, good God. I think finished the job. I think I've told you this story before. Listen up, everybody. One of the girls did the cardinal rule that you don't do in a third world country. You don't drink the water. You don't put ice in your alcoholic beverages because that's going to dissolve into the drink. And whatever's in the water is going to get in your system. And just because you can handle the bacteria that we drink every day in our water in the United States doesn't mean that the bacteria found in Mexico, Cuba, Venezuela, Colombia is the same. So
Yeah.
this young lady,
India.
yeah, oh yeah, definitely. But this little girl, which was my niece's roommate, had a margarita, no, a pina colada, and she
Don't
drank it.
brush your teeth with the water either, says High Turbo.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And she got the diarrhea. Montezuma's
Of a
was in
lifetime.
Cuban style. Yeah. So they had to take her to the hospital with two of the proctors, two of the teachers that came with them.
Oh
My
my
niece had
God.
to go because she spoke better Spanish than the two proctors did, and they were Spanish teachers. Duh. And they walked in, and there was a guy that was in there before, sitting waiting to be seen, and he was still bleeding. You remember Joe Theismann's injury playing football? The guy that busted his knee or leg, and you can
Or
see
did the bone go outside?
that's the one.
Okay.
She walked in, and this guy had one of the humerus in his hand sticking out of his arm. Clean break. They took
And
the
nobody
girl
was
with the
helping him putting the bone back. They didn't like emergency him in.
He had to wait his turn. Okay. And this little blonde girl with American insurance came in and they took her before him, who
I
came
bet
in
they
after
did.
he did. And that, when they got back to the hotel room and told everyone what happened, pretty much cemented that Bernie Sanders' idea of socialism and now market communist, because he's definitely backing the DSA members that can win, not the ones that can lose, but they can win. Yeah, they definitely went Republican, every damn one of them. Some were the first Republicans in their families ever. I got to meet these kids after when they did a group presentation, and my niece called me up on backstage to introduce me to her uncle, a guy born in Cuba. They unloaded me all the crap they saw, and one of these
Justin
days,
Taylor says, "Yikes! Still remember Lawrence Taylor tackled him."
yeah, that was one hell of a tackle. Yeah, and the British thinks that rugby's a rough sport. Yeah, right.
I don't want to do either. I'm gonna be honest, but I
Oh
gotta
yeah,
close the show. I'm gonna close it here.
yeah. Let's close it
But
here.
I'm gonna tell the audience, you know
All right,
what, you
guys.
guys, but specifically Texas, bless you, Texas. Many
Hey,
blessings,
Texas.
many blessings, many blessings.
Many
Bless you,
blessings.
chat, and people that are watching in the future. Bless
Yeah,
you guys. Bless your health. Bless your wealth. Bless your plans. Bless your homes. Bless your loved ones and your families and everything you touch.
and
Peace.
God bless America.